Sairento VR is a futuristic samurai-style action game recently released out of early access. It's available for the Vive and Rift for about $30 US. Here's my updated review of it in its current state as of February 2018. Starting with the story. You're a Sairento, a cybernetically enhanced samurai in a far-off dystopian future, and there's a new breed of evil in town taking control of your fellow swordslingers. All in all, the story is really quite awful, and its obligatory plot twist is so excruciatingly predictable that I was honestly just glad when it was all over. To top it off, beyond a smattering of semi-adequately performed voice work and the odd hold your hand up to this interaction, the story missions are essentially the same spawn in, kill all the things, land on the circle that you find in pretty much every other mission. Which brings us to gameplay. What the story's lacking, the gameplay more than makes up for, offering a fantastic variety of playstyles to explore and maps to master. So much so that while the story missions only total about 4 hours of playtime, the replayability of this title makes that seem like more of an entree than the main course. Next up is locomotion, which is the most complex and enjoyable system that I've ever experienced in VR. Aim your controller a short distance to teleport, aim further to follow the indicated arc, land in a crouch to slide, aim straight at a wall to bounce off it, aim at an angle to wall run, and last but certainly not least, bounce off a wall with your hands raised to execute a backflip. For a locomotion system that on paper sounds like it would have me painting my chaperone bounds with my breakfast, not once in the 17 hours that I've played this game have I felt even slightly queasy. As for customizability, the game offers a range of settings, including artificial rotation, and the option to replace all smooth transitions with delayed teleportation for the motion sick prone. Let's talk slow-mo, a mechanic that saturates much of Sairento VR's gameplay. Slow-mo while aiming your next leap, slow-mo after scoring a critical hit, slow-mo while backflipping, and slow-mo at the mere press of a button. As much as I'll never grow tired of raining down slow-mo bullet hell into the faces of my enemies, I would have loved the option to disable slow-mo altogether to at least experience some semblance of a level playing field. Now for weapons, which include unarmed, melee, pistols, SMGs, rifles, shotguns, and projectiles, all of which work and feel great. As for armour, the game currently only has one set. Alternate sets were apparently in the works, but have since been shelved indefinitely. All in all, in terms of both weapon and armour variety, I would have expected more. The fact that the loadout interface is clearly set up for multiple sets of armour that don't exist, and that the game currently only features one of certain types of weapons, like the SMG and sniper rifle, gives this corner of the game a somewhat unfinished feeling. That brings us to runes, which are used to augment weapons and armour with a number of different spec upgrades and special abilities. They can be either collected in the form of in-game loot, or fabricating using fabricators and ducats, which are awarded after every successful mission. That leads us on to skills. As you progress through the game, you earn skill points, which can be spent on one of 13 skill trees, 6 for base attributes like health and movement, and 1 for each weapon category. Moving on to enemy, which include gun-wielding grunts, sword-wielding grunts, harder sword-wielding grunts, snipers, drones, sumo wrestlers, invisible ninjas, geishas, and big boss dudes, each with very different attacks and behaviours. As for AI, while the enemy could never really be accused of behaving tactically, they do what they need to do, and the option to kill enemies stealthily is an awesome addition. On to difficulty. The game offers 5 settings ranging from novice to shinobi, as well as 3 sub-settings called tiers. The harder you go, the bigger the rewards. At its easiest, Sairento offers a generously forgiving playthrough, at its hardest, one-shot death. In addition to difficulty settings, the game also features map modifiers, which when added to a mission apply a random effect to the level, such as tougher enemies or greater loot rarity. Now for graphics, which are more or less par for the course. As for settings, the game offers a respectable selection, including the option to mirror to a follow cam, which looks surprisingly natural for the most part, but doesn't quite handle backflips as well as it could. That leaves us with the verdict. For a game that's had a lot of time in the oven, I can't help but feel it could have used a bit more. That said, Sairento VR is still the most enjoyable VR title I've ever played, and is absolutely a VR must-have.